Hello, welcome back to Team JVS. We are here with another review. Daryl Dixon, episode 2, season 2. So, Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol, that's a mouthful. So, we're just going to call it Daryl Dixon, season 2 for now. But I'm excited to talk about it. So, very interesting episode. The start was pretty crazy. I want to start out by saying I'm actually happy that they didn't show the craziness of everything, of the plane crash, if you will, of them. We went down, that was it, figured it things out from there. I feel like we knew things weren't going to end badly in the crash. Like, we knew if they crashed, they were safe. So the fact that we kind of dove right into things, it kind of I like that. And it led to us meeting two new characters. Whenever we meet locals, it doesn't end well. I don't care. I don't care. I don't trust anybody. You shouldn't trust anybody. We've gone through this multiple times. And I mean, at this point I feel like I'm never going to call it like lazy writing when the guys we think are good turn out to be bad, because realistically that's just how things would be in an apocalypse. I mean, you're gonna just do things to kind of fool people. But the way they handled it in this episode with these two characters, it was a little more complicated because, of course, they are secluded. They're on their own. We see their whole little, hut, whatever you call it. Turns out it was like a research center, which I think is kind of a cool little touch. We saw a little bit of that in the anthology series that The Walking Dead dropped not too long ago. Like a whole research. You guys, if you guys have seen it, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys are a fan of the Walking Dead universe, I do recommend checking that out. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it is cool always to see just individual stories in the Walking Dead universe. But back to this, to have Carol and Ash kind of land in, they're already in unfamiliar territory. This is already weird. We already start off with a cool little walker attack, which I thought was pretty cool. Of course, seeing Carol using Daryl's signature weapon is always just fantastic. To see her, of course, grabbing it for him. Like, I just can't wait for the reunion. It's just one of those things. I mean, the Daryl and his crossbow having a reunion is on my bucket list, with Rick and Daryl having the reunion. So it's just one of those things. But of course, I'm really excited for them to kind of get used to, or just to see more variance. Variance is one thing that I was really enjoying about what they were doing with this universe. Of course, with at the end of the main show, and then of course in Daryl Dixon, the first season, we see one like legit running at one point. It's just really it's cool to me. So eventually, to see Carol kind of interact with that will be pretty cool. Um of course, we have that moment with her, of course, dog walking the walkers, and then we see them coming out of the ground. And of course, like, my main thought is, oh, what a cliche. Like, we've seen this, 1,000 times, zombies coming out of the ground. But I thought it was really cool the way they handled it. The designs of the walkers never, they're always amazing me. I mean, we see these bastards come out of the ground covered in like moss, covered in grass, and it just kind of added their own little kind of like touch to it, which I thought was really cool. I'm always impressed, man. But to see, of course, Ash coming to Carol's rescue, I thought that was pretty cool. And then we have that moment where she's kind of like saying, "Hey, like, we should go do things on our own. Like, we should go kind of like separate, if you will." And this is kind of like, this is later on, but still, I mean, still, it's just one of those things that I was just curious on how they were gonna handle, because I didn't think that they were just gonna sideline the dude. But the fact that she is kind of going off on her own, I'm definitely, again, it's another interesting moment. Um, but I really thought she was gonna finally come clean and kind of say to him, "Hey, like, this is what we gotta do. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't have a daughter." But they didn't go about doing that. The people that they met, and that whole entire sequence was stressing me the hell out. I just want to put that out there. But they handled it pretty well. I know when the time comes, it's gonna piss me off because the dude does not deserve it, but it's gonna piss me the hell off. But obviously, it ended up leading to them, meeting these people who, of course, you think they have good intentions, but I do want to say I am happy they weren't cannibals. As soon as Carol says, "Oh, what are you cooking? It smells good." I'm like, "Oh fuck, what are you doing?" Immediately I'm thinking, "Oh, it's probably a person," but ended up she was saying it was like a reindeer or something, and you know that whole again, I'm used to them being bad, but the little twist there with their goals, like they're like, yeah, I'm gonna kill Carol, but we're gonna keep Ash alive because we gotta reproduce. It's like, I love you, I love you having goals. I love that for you, but that's probably not the best way to handle things. And we have her questioning Ash too, and Ash is just not picking up on it until later on, and it was just a really awkward exchange. But I loved both of the actors kind of giving off that weird energy because you're supposed to feel weird in a conversation like that, and I feel like they did a good job delivering the awkwardness. Um, but Carol super trusting with her like with the crossbow, the fact that she let her, you know, loaded up and everything. I mean, the whole thing had me stressed, but that's kind of like the main kind of takeaway that I had from the Carol and Ash situation. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a fun little, storyline. Whereas in the first episode, it felt like I was more focused on Carol and that whole thing was like the priority, whereas the Daryl thing was kind of like pushed. That was like a side plot. Whereas in the second episode, I feel as though I was more kind of focused on what they were doing with Daryl and with their crew compared to with the whole Carol situation. Well, I thought that was great. I thought what they did was fun, but I was so focused on what they were doing. We know this whole cult thing is a problem. We've been saying this. I mean, the fact that the nest is not like as great as we thought it was. I mean, I mean, obviously in order to keep the season going or the show going, you got to do stuff like that. So I'm not going to say again it's something that's predictable because I mean obviously it kind of was, but at the end of the day I understand that they got to push things forward. These first two episodes were again a little bit of a slow burn, so we're kind of leading into something crazy, I hope. But of course, them sending us finding out Laurent, I always say his name weird, but the fact that he's not there got me really like, I was like, okay, maybe he snuck out on his own. Again, he's been doing a lot of things that Daryl will do because Daryl's kind of leaving a big impression, big print on him. So I was like, okay, what are we doing here? And of course, it turning out that somebody took him. Oh, turns out we were the ones who took him. And then as like I started piecing it together, I mean, I started to stress the hell out because we already knew that the two heads of the nest are kind of like pushing for Daryl to kind of like they're like, oh, he'll come around. And I mean, the whole thing has been really, really crazy, but I feel like we're in a direction that we've kind of seen before. Like we're with a group. The group isn't actually as good as we thought, and now we have to, team up and take this group down or claim this group. I don't know if it's going to end with us taking over the group or us just kind of leaving on our own, but it's going to lead to something crazy. But of course, we had such a big group leave to find Laurent. And as soon as I heard this dude say, everybody follow Daryl's lead, I was like, okay, this is a little sketchy. I mean, he knows that we care about Laurent, so maybe that's what he's going for. But they had like 12 heads with them. And immediately, like half of this crew, more than half of this crew, is not making it back. Like that's how this show is. And it leading to us seeing Sylvie's I'm rooting Sylvie better be alive, bro. I'm telling you. I am loving her like what they're doing with her character. I'm disappointed that, the man she fell in love with ended up being, kind of a traitor. And we saw that as soon as he came back. I'm like, this dude went through some stuff, but he made the remark saying, I made a deal with God, in order to reconnect me with you. And as soon as they kind of sent them off, I was like, okay, he's definitely betraying them. And it's the main reason why he was kind of pushing away, which I love that little subtle nod of him pushing away his old friend, because it's like he really didn't want to have to do anything like that involving him. Like he didn't want him to be involved with that. So it was pretty sad to see how things had to end. But again, fun little action sequence. I was a little nervous that we weren't going to have cool little moments. Of course, always when we have, anytime we have this show, there's always at least one sequence with walkers, whatever. So I usually enjoy the episodes because of that. But of course, to have the people on people fights, it had me really tense because we know Daryl's gonna be fine, but I was not sure about Sylvie's boyfriend's friend. Oh my god, I'm so bad with names. Jeez. but I was just really like nervous about that. But other than that, I think they handled it well. We definitely need some people around to help us, I guess, reach our goals, if you will. I am super nervous and curious to see what they're gonna do. What's it? I think his name was Stefan. He was from the last season. Honestly, didn't know if we were gonna see him again, but for him to be the kind of like the teaser at the end of the episode, I would love for a little reunion. I don't know what they're gonna do. Of course, they teased him having the little medallion, whatever it was, that had like the nest in the background. But I don't know. There's so much to be really like nervous about, and this season's longer than the first season, which is already a plus. But I'm really hoping that they make good choices and keep me engaged, because again, the first two episodes were not bad. I had some fun with them. Obviously, again, they weren't perfect episodes. I'm probably gonna give this episode around like a B plus. Uh, it they still have a lot of improvement to do. Again, them bouncing between the whole art thing with Carol, then bouncing with Daryl. I mean, I'm loving that they're still separate, but I feel like they can kind of work the pacing and work how they're kind of transitioning back and forth a little better. But at the same time, I'm still excited. I'm still, and that's just me looking at it from like a review standpoint. But as a fan, I love the fact that we have both of them on screen. Again, they're not together yet, but eventually. So right now, I'm still rooting for this show. I'm still happy with what we've gotten, and I feel like it can only go up from here. So again, a big thank you to all of you guys. I want to give you guys a friendly reminder that we are reacting to this on my channel down in the description. If you want to see more of these reviews, I know they're nothing crazy, nothing long, but still, I did want to put that out there that you guys can check out my reactions on my channel, and we're going to be dropping reviews over here, and doing just weekly chats about the episodes. Um, Again, I'm excited to see where it goes. Sylvie better be alive. This whole group is just a problem. But I know every single time they show the shot of like their castle, just gives me Hogwarts vibes. But it's like this place is just way too pretty to be in this universe. It's just like I'm waiting for it to fall. It's bound to happen. But of course, it leading to Daryl, of course, saving these people, saving these familiar faces. Um, and then them diving into the action literally right away. But, that whole action sequence again, I don't know if I talked about that yet, but I thought that was beautiful. Um, Daryl being sent to do, the heavy lifting's always interesting. Um, and it's always cool to see more action sequences. But again, we knew we were gonna see that woman again. And she even said, that badass line where it's like, "Oh, of course they send the demon to do their dirty work," and we see her at the end of this episode, and that's where again we get Stefan. So I'm sure that's gonna be a big part of this. I'm really excited to see what they do. The fact that Carol is now in that kind of area, it's going to be really dangerous for her, specifically if they find out that she knows Daryl. But I think if she gets in contact with Stefan, it could be really interesting to see them kind of escape together. But I'm rooting for this, man. Again, I am really happy with what we got. I don't know how you guys are feeling. I'm excited to chat with you guys in the comments. So please talk to us in the comment section, and I look forward to reading the comments and interacting with you guys. And of course, if you guys want to come over to my channel and watch me watch the episode, be my guest. But until next time, you guys are great. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys are showing Team JVS some love. We got a whole bunch of other reviews coming out, and a whole bunch of other reactions dropping as well, with the whole team. So just stay tuned, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.